All right. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about a couple of things. First thing I want to talk about is whoa, that's too much squares. How do I change that? Wait, how do I change it less dense? I don't know.
I think it was to its left, wasn't it? Like the page on the left. Like go back to the page for. Isn't the one on the left with less clear? Oh no, like that's mine. Never mind.
Yeah, but there's a way to adjust the grid.
It gives you a lot more squares, then you have to create a custom template to get that.
No, there's a way to create less grids. You know what? Let's not worry about that. So let me. Wow, that's too much squares. There's a way to change it. I forgot.
Oh, it's on the yeah, it's on the template.
What?
He at the 3 dots. I don't even see these squares.
There are no squares.
At the top, right? The 3 little dots.
Yeah, but mine is not starting. Okay, so wait. Oops.
We just like hop on over it.
3 dots and what?
And then template settings.
Uh-huh.
And then at the grid, there's like the 3 little dots at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Or no, at the grid.
Oh.
Jamie to save the day.
Yeah, that's too small. Let's do somewhere in between. Okay, that's much better. Okay. All right, so what happened is we're going to talk about today is tests for increasing and the decreasing of the functions. And we're going to say if f prime of x is greater than 0 for all x in a comma b, then f of x is increasing between a to b. And if I say if f prime of x is less than 0 for all x in a and b, then f of x is decreasing between a and b. If f prime of x is equal to 0 for all x in a and b, then f of x is a constant between a and b. And that's increasing, decreasing. So if you take a first derivative and you did number line test, and if you did your number line test, that is a positive. Therefore, the original function is increasing. If you test negative, then original function is decreasing. If you test you got 0, then original function is constant. Is that okay? Because f prime of x represents the slope. If slope is positive, that means function is positive. Functions are increasing. If slope is negative, the function is decreasing. So this is to number line test. So number line test. It's number line test. So I'm going to show you how to do one. Let's just say today I have this function. I have f of x equal to x to the cube minus 3 over 2x squared. And remember, the first test I teach you guys how to do a number line test. Now we're going to execute the number line test. First, what I have to find first? Derivative. So when I find a derivative, what am I going to get? 3x squared? Okay, good. So you want to set equal to 0 because you want to find the critical points. Where's the critical points? Where? X is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. Good. So I'm going to say this is 0, this is a 1, and this is negative infinity, and this is infinity. If you factor out 3x, that's going to be x minus 1. So if 3x equal to 0, x equal to 0, x minus 1 equal to 0, x equal to 1. So you're going to put down here. So I put down those factor there. Now I can plug in a value. What's the best value to plug in between negative infinity to 0? Negative 1. So after I plug in, what am I going to get? You're going to get negative, right? Negative 1 minus 1 is going to give you negative, right? Is that okay? Two negatives I multiply together are going to give me what? Positive. Between 0 to 1, I will plug in half. That's positive. And that's negative, so that's negative. Between 1 to infinity, I'm going to plug in 2. And that's going to be increasing, decreasing, increasing. I write it down because this is f prime of x. Because f prime of x told me positive is increasing, decreasing, and increasing. Now let me ask you, what do you think happened at 0? And what do you think happened at 1? This is a talk about first derivative test. What do you think 0 is and 1 is? No. Possibly, yeah. 0 is that x-intercept and y-intercept. More in particular, after I find increasing, decreasing, can I state it as what kind of point is that at x equal to 0? So what will be that point? Relative maximum. I'm glad you say it. Because I'll be disappointed if you hold it back. Just waiting other people to say it. Yeah, if you know something, say it because you know something. This is relative max. Why? Because it go up and come back down, right? And this is relative min. That's the x value happen. Of course, you got to plug in to find a y value. Plug in the original function. Does that make sense? So you can function says the function is increasing at negative infinity. Why it's not writing? I hate this. Negative infinity to 0 is increasing. Decreasing is gonna be from 0 to 1. And it's gonna be union from 1 to infinity. Is that okay? Now relative max occur at x equal to 0. And min occur at x equal to 1. Now, do you know the y value or plug in the original function to find y value? Okay, let's go to the next one. We're also going to talk about this next thing. It's called first derivative test. What is the first derivative test? It's actually, we already did it. Now for both first and second derivative tests, for both like first and second derivative tests is to find relative min and relative max. So some people says, oh, second derivative test is find something else. No, the first and second, they both find the relative min and max. But what is first derivative test? First derivative test stated says if f prime of x changes from negative to positive, so I'm going to use sign. So negative to positive, add a value of c. C is a critical number. That stands for c. So I'm going to say it's critical number. Then f of x has a relative min at c comma f of c, which is critical number. Vice versa, if f prime of x change from positive to negative, what will happen? Then what? F of x has relative maximum at c comma f of c. Is that okay?
What does it say in the parentheses? Like, if f prime of x changes from negative to positive at c, and then
Critical number. C is a critical number. Some people say, what is c? C is a critical number, which is f prime of x equals 0. Now, if f prime of x is positive on both sides, or negative on both sides, of c, then f of c is neither. Yeah, you can have slope is equal to 0, but it's not changing the sign. Neither positive or neither max relative max or relative min. Yeah. What time we get off here? 10:06. Okay, we're gonna do this question very quickly. So we're gonna say f of x is equal to x squared minus 4 to the 2/3. Joanna, you wanna give a shout out to your besties? So this is a function f of x equal to x squared minus 4 to the 2/3.
What do I do?
You just give a shout out to your
Oh.
bestie all the way on the other side of the earth.
Oh my. Oh. Just stay in frame. What do I say?
I don't know. What are you gonna say to your
Hey.
bestie?
Oh, bring me a souvenir, please.
What kind of souvenir? You gotta.
I don't know. I'll take anything.
You take anything?
Yeah.
Water.
No, I think I'm done.
Make sure you take a derivative. Do you know how to take a derivative? Hopefully. Make sure you do the chain rule. You see that function within function? Don't forget. And don't forget this. Did you guys forget 2x? No? Okay. So I just find, I can find critical number here. What is the critical number? What's critical number? X equal to 0, right? And don't forget plus minus 2. Why do I ignore 1/2 power? It doesn't matter. Or 1/3 power. It doesn't matter is a 1/3 power, 1/2 power. Or it does matter, but I'm only care about a sign right now. The 0 I'm gonna test. -2 I'm gonna test. 2 I'm gonna test. 4x x squared minus 4 to the 1/3. I'm gonna plug in bunch of numbers for 4x. So in this case, I'm gonna plug in negative number on this side. It's gonna give you a negative, negative, positive, positive. Is that okay? I'm gonna plug in to the -3. -3 squared is gonna be 9. 9 minus 4 is positive. Cube root of positive number is positive. Now they don't always keep the sign straight. If you think about here, -2 to 0, if I plug in -1, -1 squared is going to be 1. 1 minus 3 is going to be -3. -3 to the -1/3 power is going to give you a negative. The same thing is here. I'm going to get negative because if you have -1 squared minus 3 minus 4, 1 minus 4 squared is going to be negative. This is positive. So it's going to be positive, negative, positive, negative. It's going to be decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing. So guess what? This is a relative max. This and this is going to be relative min. Now I'm going to say this again. If AP exam wants you to justify where is a maximum minimum, you cannot say look at the number line. It does not work. You have to state, if they ask you justification, you have to state certain thing. You have to state first derivative test. You're gonna say x equal to -2 is relative min because f prime of x change from negative to positive at x equal to -2. Therefore, -2 is relative min. You have to stay that way. If you don't, they don't give you credit for justification. You get an answer what's relative maximum min, but you don't have justification point. You want to make sure you appropriate use the first derivative test. Later on, we're going to talk about second derivative test. I'm going to hold on one more thing. If you don't do your homework, you cannot redo the related rate test. I will give you a chance for you to redo. You had to do a better job the second time. The redo is I'm going to post online. And then you guys going to go back to figure out. I will just probably change the numbers. And you just have to figure out what's the correct number on those. Huh?
Did you show the third rule for the derivative thing? Are you gonna post a date for it?
Huh?
Like the reason you're gonna post a date for it?
Yeah, I'll post it online. I don't. You guys have to figure out. Come back after school.